Today's little project is another pair of shoes. Now, about a year ago, I did a video on how to fix mountain biking shoes. I used Sikaflex. These shoes have probably done, I'd a guess, another 2,000 Ks since then. Pretty hard life. They are still in perfect condition. Very happy with that repair. But the other day, my shoes for my road bike, after 28 years, yes, I bought them in 1994, they fell apart. They are Carnacs. They're beautiful shoes. They're period with the bike, which is an old Apollo Concorde, and I do want to repair them. So what I've done is I'm not going to use Sikaflex this time. I've got Gorilla Glue, which expands, so I'm going to have to be careful with it. You've got to wet one side and you've got to apply it and then you've got to clamp it. So I'm going to have a go using Gorilla Glue on these cycling shoes. Righto, so I've got my glue, check. Got some little wooden chocks that I'll use to help clamp the shoe. Now the good thing about cycling shoes is you can see that the base is actually, it's hard. So that gives a nice flat base to clamp on. And I'm going to put these chocks in, and I'm also going to get these clamps. They're pretty stupid clamps, but they're good for this, just so that I can clamp them like that. And that is going to be enough to go. Now the other thing that I've done, you'll see that there are some screw holes in the bottom of this shoe there, and I actually put threaded self-tappers in there on an earlier repair, and you can see the remnants of some old, would have been liquid nails I'm guessing, probably from 10 or 15 years ago when I did a previous repair, so when the heel came off. Oh, crappy gloves, but hopefully that's enough. Now I know that you're meant to wet this, but it doesn't really say by how much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue on the rubber base and I'm going to wet this part of the shoe. So apparently it expands quite a bit, maybe 2 or 3 times, something like that. Alrighty, ready to go. So you can read that. Lightly dampen one surface with water. Do not add water to bottle. Spread a thin layer of Gorilla Glue to one surface and then clamp objects together for 1 to 2 hours. Seems simple enough. Alright, put my little wooden chocks in, like that. Get the clamps ready, 1 and 2, put that down. Okay, now the trick is going to be to align this like that. It's pretty good. To the other end. Now importantly, make sure you clean the top of the cap, because apparently after you use this about 2 or 3 times it will be almost impossible to remove. So you can see that that's been that's okay. Not great down at the base there, so I'm going to move that back and reclamp it. I don't know what the working time is, but there we go, that's not too bad. Now I've got plenty of clamps, so I'm going to use them, and I want to try and get something on the top there, so I'm going to get another clamp, just a spring clamp. Now we play the waiting game. So I'm going to leave that, it's now 2:30, and I'm going to leave that for at least 12 hours and basically see how we go. Now it's about 10 minutes later, and I've noticed that the self-expanding foam, or not, the expanding foam is starting to weep out, so I'm just going to clean that off with a dry cloth. Okay, 2:30 Sunday, it's been a long wait. Let's take off the clamps and see what the repair is like. My dodgy little wooden chocks here, and a little bit of weepage. That is really quite firm. I'll clean that up. I can just use a blade, but gee, that's stiff. So I've already put the base back in, and I can now slip the inner sole in. I had put, and you can see some of the expanding foam has come through. I don't even think I'll put those self-tappers back in. no, I'm really putting some hoof into that, and that is not going anywhere, is not lifting up. That is going to be an excellent repair, and it's going to last me hopefully another 28 years. Just going to clean that up, dress it up with a small blade, and very happy with Gorilla Glue. But one thing to note, I didn't buy the 50ml bottle, I bought the 236ml bottle, and I should have bought the 50ml bottle, which is only $11 from good old Bunwars, from Bunnings. The reality is this stuff expands more than you think. It expands 3 to 4 times. It's exothermic, it does generate a little bit of heat, and basically it's a when it expands and heats up, it fills a lot of spaces that you don't even think it'll fill. And I guess the concern is, and already that lid is starting to get tight, and if I use this and use this and use this, I think you're better off getting a smaller bottle and using it more frequent, going through more bottles more frequently, rather than having one big bottle that's going to last you 10 years, that in 5 years time you can't get the lid off. Anyway, thanks for watching. Go for a ride now.